AM 1160. I'm watching Aaron Lehman struggle with that broken microphone over there.
Sorry.
Aaron Lehman from Family Promise is here with us this morning. Anna Frank is with him, and Mike McElhaney is on the phone. We've got quite the conglomeration of folks here this morning on behalf of Family Promise. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Anna, Aaron, let's get him on the line too. Mike, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You there, Mike?
Good morning.
There he is.
I'm here.
There he is. Aaron, what are we talking about here with these stellar folks?
It's our 10-year anniversary this year, and next week is the Family Promise Week. So I wanted to bring Mike in. He was the first president of Family Promise. Then Becky Driscoll came after him, then me, and then Anna. So I wanted to kind of like start from the beginning of Family Promise to where we are now, and talk a little bit about how it started and that type of thing. It's stuff that Mike and Anna know so much more than me. And everybody kind of gets tired of hearing my voice, so I figure, I'll have other people talk. The one thing that I do want to say again is we had our first family one of our families is in law school, and they actually donated back to us.
Oh, yeah.
So now we have somebody that was homeless, that went into the program, that is now successful, and they donated back. It was, I think, $30.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. So, I mean, that just kind of shows the impact that we're having in the community. But now I'll turn it over to Anna and Mike.
All right. Well, it's wonderful. It's sort of like having the 4 Penguins Stanley Cup winning coaches with us here today in this group. Let's start with Mike, since he was the first president of Family Promise. Mike, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, let's think back to when Family Promise began and the promise of Family Promise and how you have worked so hard over the years, all of these folks have, in order to make it come true.
Yes, well, Family Promise is a great model where a lot of churches get together to help families with children have a temporary place to stay. And we sort of picked up on that model, and Dan and Donna Overdorf and Ellen and Rod Ruddick helped us start it. We went around church to church and explained it to them and got enough churches on board and eventually followed this model where families rotate 1 week at a time to churches.
Mm-hmm. When you think back to that day and how successful it was, a lot of organizations, when they begin an effort such as this, especially one as extensive as this, they're going to have their growing pains. They're going to have some stumbles, and they're going to have some folks who just fall away. How has it been that Family Promise has now survived for 10 years and not only survived but is thriving?
Yeah, well, I think it's the model that has so many churches involved, and it's an education for the church members because, quite frankly, churches were hesitant saying, well, we want to support that, but I don't know if we want to do it in our church. So they would open their doors, and then the families would open their hearts and have meals with people and say, these are people in our town that actually need help. And there was an education for the members that was great. Mm-hmm. And then the churches stepped up, particularly Grace Methodist Church is why we started. We went to their council meeting before we started, and they committed $25,000, and then we got traction and we got going.
Absolutely. And it continued through Becky and Aaron, and now Anna Frank, you're sitting there with the crown on your head.
Oh, my goodness. Not at all. Not at all. I am absolutely privileged to work with an amazing board of directors. Mm-hmm. We have 2 fantastic employees, and like Mike said, an army of Indiana County volunteers. Yeah. Over the years, over 10 years, we've helped more than 207 people. 120 of those were kids. We provided more than 14,000 nights of shelter for these families. And again, nothing works without our amazing volunteers. Yeah. Not just our congregation volunteers, but our community volunteers. And we got to throw in, of course, our corporate supporters.
Sure.
And we live in a world where everything costs money. And we are so proud that every dollar that's been given to us throughout our 10 years, where does it come from? Indiana, PA.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I love most about Family Promise is every dollar that people give, every hour that you volunteer goes to helping an Indiana County family. And it works. I think that is probably one of the most important reasons why we've been here for 10 years.
How did you become involved in Family Promise?
I actually provided, as you know, I work at First Commonwealth Bank as a financial educator. And the key to Family Promise is we don't just provide a place to stay. we surround families with love and support so that they can deal with the issues that led them to experience instability when it comes to their housing. And of course, money, budgeting, all those skills, that is one of the most important things we provide. Through kind of my day job with First Commonwealth Bank, I started working with Carol Reed, our director, to provide financial education, not just for our families, but for our whole community. And after getting to know more about the organization, it was just a natural fit for us.
Yeah. I'm going to get back to Erin in just a moment. But, Mike, what she said there about the spirit of volunteerism and the way that the funds are not only raised but used, it's a real key to what Family Promise is all about, isn't it?
It really is. It's a very cost-effective way by utilizing the resources at the churches. And then we do have some costs because we did have to hire Carol Reed, which is really the heartbeat that makes it work. And when we started, Jeff Mack was our treasurer.
And still is.
We
love
started
Jeff.
collected. He still is?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I guess that's a lifelong job, but he does such a good job. But anyhow, it's just, like they say, so cost-effective because you're using the resources. So many churches have empty Sunday school rooms, and we make use of those rooms. So we're not building brick and mortar. And I've worked for a lot of not-for-profits, and I like that our funds go straight to the social work.
Absolutely. Erin Lehman, of course, you've been involved for many, many years with Family Promise as well, and you've seen how this all works, and it really is fascinating the way that not only that it works the way that it does and has for quite some time, but that it came together so quickly. And as Mike pointed out, the fact that these were church folks who were involved in making it happen, that goes a long way toward that spirit of cooperation, doesn't it?
Most definitely, yeah. And the churches are phenomenal. That one of the things that I've said before is, two ways to get out of poverty. One way is education, which is what we do, and the other way is having role models. So if you have churches, if you have fellowship, if you have people in the churches having fellowship with the people in our program, those are role models that people can see and say, poverty is not a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And I want to get out of this lifestyle. I want to be like these people that are talking to me. So I think that kind of two-pronged approach, if you will, has worked very well because you have the education, but you also have the role models.
Yeah. So what are you doing for the 10th anniversary?
So we're having a social media campaign, and on our Facebook, we're still in the works of talking about what we're going to do. Besides that, with COVID and everything, things have kind of gotten a little.
We don't just celebrate our 10th year anniversary in the 10th year. My goodness. 2022 will be a party year for us. Absolutely. No, we are going to have an amazing event to recognize and thank our volunteers as soon as, this whole pandemic calms down a little bit. Yeah. But in the meantime, too, what? We're also on this amazing radio show to talk about our 10-year anniversary. And we're just so grateful because, again, I know I've said it 4 times, but without our volunteers and without our community members who open their hearts and, importantly, their wallets, none of this works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's absolutely right. And that whole thing. And I think it's important that, as Anna said, we recognize that there are companies that have seen this program, recognize the benefits of it and the merits of it, and have said what a great model it is to not only help people who are in really, really dire circumstances right now, but also to give them the chance to avoid falling into those circumstances in the future through the educational aspect of Family Promise.
Yeah. 84% of the families that we've helped so far, we don't just, after they're done with the program, we just wave them goodbye. They're part of the Family Promise family now. So we stay in touch with them. We follow up with them for at least 3 years, and 84% of our families have maintained stable housing. And the best part is 5 of our families are now homeowners. Wow. Mm-hmm. So in addition to that, I would be remiss if I didn't mention 2 of our other services that we offer. Mm-hmm. We also have a Beyond Shelter store where families can sign up and then come and buy products like toothpaste, toilet paper, all those things that a family might have to use their food assistance dollars for. Mm-hmm. They can come buy them from us for like 50 cents for a tube of toothpaste and 10 cents for a roll of toilet paper. Yeah. So far, we've helped more than 500 families with that. And then we're really proud that in February of this year, we started our Pops Cafe. This is our homelessness prevention program. Mm-hmm. we've just started in February. We've already helped 12 families. We've helped them avoid homelessness in the first place, which is really important work.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't happen without the support of our community.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's obviously a quite successful program. We're about out of time here this morning. Aaron, what do people want to do or should they know to do in order to support Family Promise and help with this great celebration?
Well, you know what? I'll put that over to Anna because she's more involved right now being president. I'm going to go on the board probably in January, but I'll hold that to Anna.
The easiest thing to do is to visit our website at familypromiseofindianacounty.com. They will learn more about the service that we're doing, and also I just want to point out there's a donate button right there.
There you go.
By all means, there's also a form where our families or anybody can request assistance, and of course our contact information. I hope you can tell how excited we are to talk about this. So we'll talk to anybody. We'll talk to families. We'll talk to donors. We'll talk to volunteers. Get in touch.
Wonderful. Mike McElhaney, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. And hey, thanks for starting this.
Okie doke.
All right.
Aaron, thanks you so much as well for being with us this morning.
No problem. Anytime.
And Anna, it is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160. Boomer with the CBS Sports Minute next.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. This Sunday, MetLife Stadium will be a pressure cooker for sure for both Carolina's Sam Darnold and the Giants' Daniel Jones. Now, both of these 24-year-old veterans have heard the choruses of North Jersey boos raining down upon them. Darnold from his 3 years as the Jets' latest false messiah, and both are the subjects of media-led discussions as to whether they qualify as franchise quarterbacks or whether their team should look elsewhere for solutions. Philadelphia's Jalen Hurts and his former Alabama teammate Tua Tagovailoa of Miami are newer to the league, but they're both hearing whispers about their drafters' remorse. When they've been good, they've actually been mediocre. But when they've been bad, well, how do you lose to Jacksonville, Tua? Chicago's Justin Fields is only 22. Unfortunately for him, he'll be compared to his Sunday counterpart, who is literally twice his age. That's, of course, the great Tom Brady. He saw Aaron Rodgers last week get lost. Can he pull out a victory this week? I doubt it. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Hey, this is DJ Super Save with an incredible app everyone who buys gas needs to know about. Get Upside. My listeners are making up to 25 cents for every gallon of gas every time they fill up.